Hey, this is Coach Micheal Burt, the Super Coach. Excited to bring you another episode. These are short form podcasts of my new book called Flip the Switch, How to Activate the Prey Drive in You and your team. And each podcast, I basically break down various aspects of prey drive. Prey drive is an instinct. It's prevalent in animals. To see something, stalk it, capture it, kill it, bring it home, man. And in humans, prey drive is an instinct to see it with the eyes or optically in the mind, or optically in the eyes or in the mind through the imagination, and have the persistence and intensity. Just me talking about prey drive activates my prey drive at a higher frequency, right? Just by thinking about prey drive and instinct and selling and taking an action and having a thought and doing something bigger, it activates my prey drive. So today I want to break down one component of prey drive, which is exposure. There are 5 activators of prey drive based on my estimation. There's more, but these are 5 that I see. That is fear of loss, competition, exposure, environment, embarrassment. Today we're going to talk about the activator of exposure. When I was 15 years old, I was in a National Honor Society in school. And I was a good student, finished 8th in my class. But I ran for an office in National Honor Society called Beta Club, and I won. And part of winning at a state and national level was I had to travel around the country and speak to other kids, other conventions. And they sent me to a leadership academy put on by the Broyhill family. The Broyhill family was a family that did big insurance things, I think, and they had this big, huge place in North Carolina, and they had the Broyhill Leadership Academy. I was scared to death. I didn't know what I was going to do, and they sent me to this camp where I was, first time I'd been on a plane that I remember, and I was going to stay with other kids for a week, and I was terrified. I'm sleeping in the woods with these other kids, right? And every day we got up, and there was a rhythm and a cadence, and they taught me leadership, and they introduced me, and I think it was there that they may have introduced me to the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is a book I would go on to read at 18 years old. And they introduced me to leadership habits. I was exposed to a new way of thought. And that changed my life, right? It activated my prey drive. But what it really did for me is it gave me an advantage. You see, now I had an advantage over my peers. I didn't understand it, but I came home different. I came home with more confidence. I came home with more courage. I came home with more commitment. And I had been exposed to something that other kids had not experienced. I had a leg up, man. I had an advantage. And when I was 18 years old, I was going to these coaching clinics with the great coach Don Meyer, the great head coach who was a great college basketball coach. And he made a statement. He said, if you don't read another book this year, pick up a copy of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And while you're at it, pick up a copy of First Things First. I don't remember ever reading a self-help book until that time. Should be taught in every school. Kids should have to read more than fiction books. They should have to read nonfiction books as part of their upbringing. And this is why eventually I'm going to start a school. Maybe it's the Greatness Factory for kids. Maybe it's Success School. We're looking at doing a summer camp this year and exposing kids to these type of things, because I went to the bookstore and I read that book, and, man, it changed my life. I said, oh, man, this is what successful people do. They read and they study, and they're interested in their potential, and they play at a higher frequency. And I made up my mind that I would, from that point forward, I would teach all of my players, right, the 7 habits of highly effective people. When you play for me, you're going to learn these 7 habits. I'm going to teach leadership skills. I'm going to have my own Broyhill Leadership Academy for these kids. And, man, it worked. I remember we did Dr. Phil Thursdays, because Dr. Phil always did something for kids one day, and the kids loved it. And we did leadership academies and success academies and life after basketball. And it all comes down to a theme. If you have kids like I do now, you want to expose them to bigger ways of thinking. It expands their mind. And once their mind is expanded, they never go back to their original dimension. They want to do bigger things. Now, I'm going to tell one more story. Because what you need to be thinking on your prey drive is, what have you been exposed to? What have you seen? I remember the first time I went to New York City or Chicago or London, or not London, or Miami or Los Angeles, because I haven't been to London yet. And I saw these things. It's like, oh, remember the first time I was on a private jet. I remember the first time I stepped foot in my condo in downtown Nashville that overlooks the city. And so I remember the first time, I rented a private jet for the day for me to go travel and speak, and I'd eventually move on to own one. And all of these activated my prey drive to do what? Something bigger. I remember the day I spent a day with a guy worth $600 million and watched him work. I never forget that day. I remember the first time I went to the 10X Growth Conference. I remember when I spoke at 10X to 10,000 people, like it, boom, it activated my drive. The reason we live boring lives, the reason we fall victim to complacency, the reason we contract is because we don't have big enough goals that push us. I was telling earlier on a podcast, man, I set big targets and I set big goals because it allows me to never get complacent. See, my goals are so big that I don't have enough margin for even a day. Like I have a day off each week, but I don't have enough margin to goof off during the day. That's how big my goals are. And I'm constantly being exposed to something bigger. A guy running a $100 million company, Sharon Lecter selling 32 million copies of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Man, I'm exposed to different things. And I want to challenge you. If you have not gotten in a room with me, come to the boot camp, come to a lodge, got your kids involved in something. This is why you're in a rut. This is why you're stuck. This is why you're complacent. This is why you're bored. This is why you can't get moving. This is why, because you're doing the same things over and over and over, and your goals are too small, man. Prey drive is about doing something freaking big, getting out of complacency, and never falling victim to false positive, by the way, where you lull yourself into believing you're there. You're not there, man. You won't be there up until the end of your life. You'll still be going. I'm coaching an 81-year-old right now, a 77-year-old, a 74-year-old. They're still swinging, man. They're still swinging. They're still bringing me in to coach them. Saturday night, I'm doing this thing at my lodge where I'm bringing in Randy Houser, one of the top vocalists in the world, because I just want to expose people to what a true talent is in a small setting like that. Never underestimate the need to expose people to something. I'm Coach Micheal Burt. I got a new book coming out called Flip the Switch, How to Activate the Prey Drive in You and Your Team. And I'm going deeper and deeper and deeper on this concept. This podcast called Flip the Switch is geared toward helping you activate and flip that switch inside of you. Activate that drive in you to do something bigger. Okay, reach out to me at coach@coachburt.com. Go to my website. Follow me on Instagram, YouTube. More importantly, get in my coaching program, man, so I can coach you and activate your drive every single week. I'm Coach Micheal Burt, and I'm a super coach. I'm Coach Micheal Burt. I just finished a session on the explanation of service, and this is such a big concept. It's really a clarifying journey to get clear on what you believe, why you believe it, what you do, why you do it, how you do it different than other people, who you've done it for. It's a game changer. And today I wanted to drive home to my monster producer, the Monster Nation, that you don't want to do business with other people that don't believe the same things you do. It will create conflict and heartache in your life. Spend the time on the front end getting clear on what you believe, what they believe, why you believe it, what you do as a result. And know this, you're only looking for people that are looking for you. You don't have to convince and manipulate. Go out into the marketplace, share what you believe, and see who believes it too. That's who you want to do business with.